Hello, I'm Nancy Zenger-Beneda. This module has asked us to look at a case study in relationship to internet use violations. The principal of an affluent school district has hired a new teacher for specialized courses in the sciences. The students and parents have been complaining that the course is rigorous and there are too high of expectations. The instructor received an email link that contained a Facebook page or a link to a Facebook page that contained information that she perceived as a threat. The principal did promise to investigate the situation. What we know is that this is an affluent neighborhood and that because of that, high student performance is expected. There's a lot of competition between students and they're looking to be the valedictorian and salutatorian of their classes. And so rigorous courses, though benefits those students, also become, in their minds and sometimes their parents, a hindrance because it keeps them from maintaining that GPA that is expected. Dr. Smith is an established principal. He even received an award for his work with the school, and he's prided himself on hiring exceptionally qualified teachers. Miss Tate is only a second-year teacher, and she was well qualified with her training for the courses that she's teaching, and the courses that she is teaching are rigorous. They are higher level science courses and they would be demanding at any school under any given circumstance. Dr. Smith has offered some suggestions to help Miss Tate reduce the stress in her class because he's been receiving complaints from both parents and students about the stress that they feel when they're participating in the class. Miss Tate received a link through email to a Facebook page that contained information about her and then also something that she perceived as a threat, and she's scared. Miss Tate notified Mr. Smith immediately of the information and he's promised to investigate. What we still need to know is what are the school policies related to internet use and misuse. We need to know who the students are in Miss Tate's classes, and we need to know if a school computer was used to send this information or create this information about Miss Tate. We need to know if Miss Tate has had any negative interactions with any specific students, or if any of the students might know of concerns that exist between students and Miss Tate. And then we also need to know what support is available for Miss Tate to help her through this incident. We need to develop an action plan. So we would want to definitely alert authorities, and including campus security. Any threats that come to students or teachers or staff within the organization or institution need to be taken seriously. We need to talk with legal counsel to determine what our next steps would be and what actions we can take that are within our authority. Because we don't know if this is a student, we don't know if it's a parent, and so we need to keep all of those options or possibilities in mind as we move forward with this investigation. And then we need to ask Miss Tate to document anything that she's seen or heard or that she knows that might help lead authorities to information that could help resolve this situation. Specific leadership strategies that I would employ include reviewing the internet policies and the consequences of violating those policies with the entire school. So students, faculty, staff all need to know what the expectations are for internet use and need to be aware that there will be consequences if the internet is misused. I would inform the staff of the concern and definitely alert security to be on the lookout. I wouldn't necessarily disclose individual information regarding the specific teacher or the students or classes that might be involved, but just an overall informative session that a teacher had received a threat and that there were security concerns within the organization. And then, of course, ask anyone that might have additional information to please share that with me. I would also provide parental education on the purpose and the value of the rigorous science courses. So students up front and their parents need to understand the risk that they're taking when they enroll in an upper level class like that. So yes, those classes can have an impact on a student's GPA, but they also can have a very positive influence in preparing the student for the next step, or college, or whatever step that they determine to follow after high school. So they need to weigh, students need to be informed and parents need to be informed prior to enrolling classes. And certainly after an incident like this would arise, it would be important to have those conversations again and be sure that the next class that is enrolling is aware of the risks that they're taking when they enroll. But also to talk with the parents of the current classes and help them understand why the rigor of the classes are important. I would also want to connect Miss Tate with a teaching mentor, and that might be someone from the sciences that could help her learn, explore different strategies for the classroom. But it also might just be, and it could be more than one, but it may just be a teacher that has experienced some incidents with students, so that the two of them could talk through how to maybe work through some of those things. And of course, through this whole incident, an administrator needs to keep in mind what is best for students. Safety would be the primary concern. Safety for everyone involved, not just students. So authorities definitely need to be involved to assess the seriousness of the threat. And in taking action, that supports the expectations that policies will be followed. So that is one of the ways that you speak to students and parents and the organization to say, we do expect everyone to follow the policies that have been laid out, and if they're not followed, there will be consequences. And then education helps everyone understand. So to review the policies, to talk about the need for the classes and why they exist and what the risks are related to the classes, just helps everyone get a better understanding of what's happening within the organization or the institution, and about the choices that they have available to them, and influences the decisions they make as they move forward. And in being transparent through this entire situation, I would hope to be building trust with the students, trust from parents, and also trust from faculty and staff within the school. There are a number of things that come to mind as priorities when you're working through a situation like this. And as I already indicated, threats need to be taken seriously. In today's age, there are serious or significant concerns for violence within school systems. So you need your students and your parents and your community to know that you are going to take their safety seriously. Now, I do think that Mr. Smith could have been more supportive with Miss Tate. I think he could have talked through what her options were and how to approach the next day, and immediately tried to seek some support for her. I do value that Miss Tate has maintained the rigor of her courses despite complaints and even some pressure to make changes. I think it's important that we remember we're institutions of learning and that sometimes our priorities conflict. So a parent that is thinking about the need for a student to maintain his or her GPA and receive that award of valedictorian may make that a priority over actual learning. And we need to maintain that priority of learning in our schools. And I also reinforce how important it is that schools have policies to guide them through instances such as this. So we've experienced at the college a number of times as we've used a policy to work through a situation that we need to come back and revise that policy. So it's important to use the policy as it exists, keep them updated, and revise them as needed to be prepared for future instances. Now, there are a number of unresolved issues. We don't know how Ms. Tate is going to improve relationships with her students. And we don't know how the school is going to improve relationships with parents, because certainly we know there have been complaints and there's concern. We don't know how Dr. Smith is going to support Ms. Tate, or what support is available to her in terms of providing leave or counseling. And we don't know how this instance or incident is going to affect Ms. Tate's teaching and what effect it's going to have on her class. Will she, in fact, back off of that rigor? Will she work to develop relationships with her students? Will she be afraid? Will she decide to leave teaching? All of that is unresolved. The building administrator does promote academic success throughout the school, and some of the things that we saw in the case study that reassures that thought is that Dr. Smith does hire highly qualified teachers, and he does provide suggestions to Ms. Tate to help her improve her classroom strategies. So he does want that classroom experience to be positive for his students. He has not asked Ms. Tate to make the class easier. And so in that way, he is promoting that academic success. And also, he has high-level courses built into the school schedule, so he is providing an experience for students to move to a higher level and advance. The building administrator should also promote the well-being of each student. Dr. Smith promises to investigate the incident. He perhaps could have moved quicker, and I thought he jumped a little bit quick to assume that there may be one particular student involved. I think it's important to gather that information, but we shouldn't make premature assumptions. Dr. Smith asks Ms. Tate to recall disruptive students, so he is making an attempt to gather information, and he's thinking about any students that might be at risk. He's also trying to talk with Ms. Tate about her teaching strategies so that she can do a better job of reaching all students. The building administrator enhances the instructional capacity of the institution. Mr. Smith is attempting to guide the resolution of this issue. So as issues come up, the only way that academic purpose remains successful is if instances and disciplinary problems and those kinds of things can be resolved as they come up. Mr. Smith has talked with parents, and so he is willing to take those calls, and he is willing to talk about what's happening within the school system. And he also attempts to gather information to adequately deal with the situation. So in these instances, he is enhancing the instructional capacity of the school. So the case study didn't really provide us with the conclusion to know if Mr. Smith effectively handles this situation, and we don't know what happens to Ms. Tate. So we don't know if the staff and the parents and the students are satisfied with a resolution, or even if a resolution is reached. But what we can know in studying this case study is that situations such as this one must be dealt with, and we must have policies to help us through situations like this. When situations arise, certainly the way the administrator handles these situations can establish the credibility of the administrator or lead to people losing confidence in his ability to be, or her ability to be, a leader.